going on, guys? So before the video starts, I wanted to make a quick announcement letting you guys know that I did create a new Paul t-shirt. This is going to be a limited edition t-shirt. You can find it at the link on the screen, or it will also be in the description. There's a whole bunch of different styles. You can get it like hoodie, a bunch of women's tees, and yeah, so go pick yourself up some Paul swag. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the battle started. So this is a match against GalacticElliot. We have battled in the past before. This is going to be an NU match, and he has a very powerful looking team. He has a lot of threats that I'm pretty worried about. The Vivillon, the Typhlosion, all sorts of stuff. But anyways, I decided to lead off with Swagsire because I'm like, why the hell not? I actually thought that he was going to lead off with his Probopass, which is why I threw Quagsire out there, so that kind of works out. That thing can't really do too much to me. So right off the bat, he's going to go ahead and switch into the Gurgir. So he just switches into this big veiny bastard as I just go for an Infestation. I wanted to lock something in here just because, you know, this Swagsire likes to do that. He likes to, you know, just get motherfuckers in here, make them stay in there forever so they can just rack up toxic damage or infestation damage or whatever. So he decides to actually go for a bulk up. Girders are extremely scary, especially in NU. Obviously these things are just absolute monsters. Once they get up bulk ups, they're scary as hell. With the Eviolite, they have relatively decent defenses, and with the Drain Punch they can get a lot of health back and stuff. So he goes for the Drain Punch after +1 bulk up's not going to do a whole lot because this Quagsire is defensive as shit, and I decide to start throwing some hot water at this thing, trying to get a burn. I don't really care about the Guts boost had I got a burn, just because I want to get more continual damage off on this thing, considering he does take Infestation, and then burn damage would be really nice, but I don't get it, which is a bummer. But now he's going to go for a knockoff. He goes ahead and throws his Girder at me, and he does get a critical hit, and unfortunately knocks off my leftovers, and Swagsire's like, the fuck, bro, I wasn't finished eating those yet, I'm still hungry, like, this is just a dilemma. But after this next Scald, the Infestation is actually going to take care of the Girder, and that is a large threat out of the way pretty early, so that's cool. These things actually usually, they just absolutely destroy me in NU matches, because a lot of the time I don't have anything for it. But now he brings out the Buffalo with an Afro, and I'm like, hey, sweet fro, bro, as I'm just going to go for a Scald, hoping to get a burn, and I actually don't, as he starts playing with some swords, increasing his attack, and that makes this thing extremely scary. These things already have really high attack naturally, but after a Swords Dance, it's insane. But he goes for a head charge here. Swagsire is not going to go down that easy, though. Look at the defenses of this Quagsire. Like, holy hell, how is this thing let in NU? I don't know, man. But I go for one more Scald, hoping for another burn, but I don't get it. So I'm just pretty damn unlucky on the whole burn Scald things today. But, you know, that happens. So now he's just going to be able to finish me off with an Earthquake, and that is going to be a dead Swagsire. My objective with Swagsire was to be able to knock this thing down to the point where I'd be able to revenge kill it relatively easily, but after that leftover recovery, this thing is still looking pretty damn scary. But now I'm going to bring out Twitter. Here I make a pretty questionable play. I go for the Protect to activate my Guts, as he's just going to stay in. He goes for a head charge, and that's, yeah, I'm going to protect myself. But I could have easily gone for either a Brave Bird or a Facade and killed this thing here, but I actually thought that he was going to switch. Maybe wanting to save his Bouffalant for later. I just go for a U-turn expecting him to switch, but he does stay in, and that U-turn's not going to do a damn thing. And now I'm faced with a pretty awful decision on who wants to come in here and take a fucking +2 head charge from a Bouffalant. But so I decided to bring in Cradildo. Cradildo looked like the only guy that could come in here and like live in attack. So I do take the head charge relatively nicely, considering this is my specially defensive Cradildo, so that's actually, you know, not too bad. But unfortunately, he is going to be able to finish me off in one more hit, considering I just had to switch this thing in on that attack. He's definitely going to outspeed me, and he goes for the Mega Horn, which was questionable because that could have totally missed, and I would have enjoyed that. But Cradildo is going to die, and now I don't have Stealth Rocks, and that loses one of my walls pretty early. So, you know, that's kind of a dilemma. This Bouffalant caught me off guard a little bit with that Swords Dance, and unfortunately I didn't get the burn with the Scald on Quagsire. It would have made my life a little easier, but now I decide, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to bring back out my bird here. Twitter is going to be able to scare that thing out. This time he decides to switch. I decided to not go for the U-turn, just playing it safe because I had already made a misplay. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to go for the Facade. I initially went for the U-turn because I knew he had the Probopass on his team. I thought he was going to switch to that in the first place. He is inside of my head here. He's able to switch into this thing now this time, and now I just got a U-turn out of here, as I am expecting this thing to probably set up Stealth Rocks, something along the lines of that, but I get a U-turn crit, which is, you know, whatever, doesn't really do anything, as now I'm just going to go ahead and switch in Toss. I figure maybe I could get to the point where Toss might be able to start sweeping, but he goes for a Thunder Wave, which ultimately Toss is not really too worried about, considering it does activate my Guts ability, which raises my physical attack, which is really nice, and, you know, being paralyzed is probably one of the better things for throw, considering I don't take damage every turn, and I don't really care too much about being fast, so overall I'm not too worried. So now he's going to Volt Switch out into the Vivillon. The shiny evil butterfly comes out here, and I'm just going to bulk up with the toss because I want to get my attack up there, raise my defenses a little bit, and yeah, so I'm actually quite glad that I am paralyzed for another reason. This Vivillon is unable to sleep powder me now. I already have a status condition, so he can't put me to sleep and start quiver dancing like an evil butterfly like he is. So he's just going to go ahead and hurricane me once. I live that, and I'm able to get a payback off. Luckily, I don't get parahaxed, and that payback actually leaves this thing with 1 HP, and I'm like, what the fuck, Vivillon? How are you gonna, like, how the hell did that happen? Like, what? Not even Focus Sash lives with 1 HP. Like, just my luck. But now I'm just gonna go ahead and switch into Togetic because I know I can take special attacks from this thing and stuff as long as he didn't start setting up Quiver Dances, as he doesn't. So the Hurricane's gonna leave me at a reasonable amount of HP, but he does want to save his Vivillon for later, considering I don't have Stealth Rocks up, so he's gonna be able to freely switch into that thing, you know, whenever. He probably wants to save it for Sleep Powder support and stuff like that. So he switches into his Probopass. I go for the Flamethrower and, you know, kind of, you know, burn his nose a little bit, but overall he doesn't really care. Takes that like an absolute monster, as now I'm just going to switch right back on into Toss here, because I can take any attack from this thing, and then getting a Storm Throw would be pretty nice. It would do a decent amount of damage to this thing. So the Power Gem doesn't do a damn thing to Toss, and Toss is, I'm considering whether or not I should go for the rest. I can get rid of this paralysis, but in the long run it doesn't seem like it would be worth it, because that Vivillon is going to be able to kill me in 2 Hurricanes, whether or not I'm asleep or whatever. So he's going to go ahead and Volt Switch back out into the... No, he's going into Benny this time, which is this motherfucker who had me, you know, pretty scared earlier on, but I'm able to go for the Storm Throw, and that is going to take care of the Bouffalon. Luckily, I did not get paralyzed there again, because that would have been really bad. He would have been able to maybe start setting up some more Swords Dances and then just be scary, but I am able to break through the paralysis and kill that thing, which is really nice. So now he's going to bring back out the Vivillon, and he's going to be able to outspeed me, kill me with a Hurricane, but at this point, I really don't have a switch in that I feel safe taking a Hurricane, so I just have to let Toss die. He kind of did his thing, got rid of that Bouffalon, which is really nice, but at this point, now I can switch in Twitter, who I know is going to be faster than this Vivillon, so I'm going to be able to... I actually predict him to switch out, so I go for another U-turn, but, you know, I've just been messing up on my U-turn plays with Swallow. But overall, it doesn't really matter, because that thing is going to die to the U-turn, so that's kind of a bummer for me, because now I have to switch in something that he's going to be able to get a matchup on. So I go into Togetic as he switches into the Lantern, and Lantern is going to be a little bit scary for me. This is not a good matchup because the Thunderbolt is actually going to do a buttload. Here I make a misplay and go for a Nasty Plot, maybe expecting him to go for a Toxic or something along the lines of that. But that is not the case. He just Thunderbolted me, and that was a stupid play. So now he's just going to be able to kill me off with 1 more Thunderbolts, and there goes my Togetic. So at this point, the match is really close, and I got to do something for this fish. So I decided to bring out Twitter. I'm hoping to God that a Facade is going to be able to kill this thing in 1 hit. So I decide to put all my faith in Gut Swallow, and a Facade is going to be able to take out the Lantern. Luckily for me, that was looking more of a specially defensive Lantern rather than physical. So it's going to die to that, and here comes the sketchy part. So he brings out Typhlosion. I'm expecting this thing to be a Choice Scarf Typhlosion because they usually are. I decided to stay in and test it. If he specs, I'm going to outspeed, but he does outspeed, showing me that he is going to be Choice Scarf. So he hits me with Interruption. That is going to kill Swallow, but I do still have 1 Pokemon left in my team, and it is this Basculin. So I'm going to go ahead and lock myself into Choice Banded Aqua Jet, as he's going to switch into the Probopass here. I believe I do get a lucky critical hit here. I do definitely, yep, get a crit, and that is going to do a lot of damage. Very fortunate for me, pretty unlucky for him, but 1 more Aqua Jet is going to be able to take care of the Probopass. And here's where things get really weird. I have to basically bank on the fact that a Choice Banded Adaptability Aqua Jet from the Basculin is going to be able to take care of this Typhlosion. So he brings out the Typhlosion. He's not going to be able to outspeed me because I have priority, but I do go for the Aqua Jets, and guess what? It lives it with like 5 HP, but he misses the Focus Blast, which would have completely killed me, and I got extremely lucky there. 1 more Aqua Jet is going to take care of the Typhlosion. I would say that I definitely got more lucky in this match than he did. The hacks was a little bit one-sided on my part, but I thought that was a really interesting match. It came down to 1 play. Had he not missed that Focus Blast, he definitely would have had the match in the bag. But that was a really interesting game. Go check out GalacticElliot's channel. We always have some pretty damn good battles. He's a really good battler. But yeah, that was really fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up button if you had a good time, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Also, you better not forget to pick up that Paul t-shirt. Remember, the link is in the description, and when you get it, send me a picture of you wearing that shit, and I'll like follow you on all sorts of social media, and I'll be your best friend.